Hello, hello, hello. Thank you for watching. I am doing a long overdue video regarding doing essentials at home. I posted a video about a year ago, I guess, with regard to what I generally do. Excuse me. What I generally do as an essentials parent. And I think I showed my rolling loop schedule, my loop schedule. Then I showed how I took from the loop schedule to make a breakdown of, by the minute tasks. And I made a commitment then over a year ago that I would actually redo that task schedule, what we do each day of the week after community, and how much time it took to do what we did. I have since then made that schedule, but I have not videotaped it. So this is the opportunity to videotape it. We're on cycle 2 now, in essentials. And my daughter is now, she's actually in 7th grade, but I kept her back in essentials because all of her friends are there. Her birthday is so close to the cutoff that I could, either do one or the other. I am, in the meantime, a challenge director, but I'm also an Essentials Foundation's mom because I kept my daughter in Essentials and Foundations. So just to give you, I hope that ministers to someone who's on the fence with regard to their student, if they think they're ready to go up or if they think they need to hold them back. You know what? Each individual, it's individual cases. I have currently in my Challenge A class both 7th and 8th graders, so it's fine. It is the equivalent of 6 honors courses, and no student does everything that's required in order to. It's a lot of work. So whether you decide to take your student up to Challenge A in 7th grade or 8th grade, it is all good. All right, now back to essentials. Okay, we're in our last year of essentials because we spent 1 year outside of the community. It turned out to be a blessing. She gets to do 3 years of essentials, which I think is a fantastic blessing. It's kind of a what the devil meant for evil, God turned to good because I'm called. Yay. So anyway, essentials is broken down into 2 pieces. You've got Institute for Excellence in Writing. This is the writing program. IEW is what they call it for short. And then you've got Essentials of the English Language. This is part 1 of a 2-part binder. I divided my binder into 2 parts because it's so thick and I did not like taking one giant binder. So the first 12 weeks I took this. The second 12 weeks I took part 2. And I never had a problem where when we got to the second 12 weeks and the tutor needed something for the first 12 weeks. I never had that issue. I don't know why my phone has decided it wants to no longer be focused. But at any rate, I never had that problem. So I kept it divided into 2 parts and it worked great for me. Okay, I've got my notes here and I'm looking so that I don't get off target. All right, when you think of essentials for the English language, essentials, the guide, 2 parts. First semester, second semester. My daughter's binder, I did a video on that. So if you want to know how her binder is laid out regarding doing these things in the community day, then check out my video regarding how I set up my student's binder. There are tab dividers by the week that I have put into the essentials guide, and that's recommended when you get into essentials. If you'll notice those divider tabs, the week 1 through 12 is what you're seeing in this guide. There is a second guide that is 13 through 24, and then I also have a third guide, which I call the gear. It incorporates all the charts that are to be utilized throughout the year. It also incorporates the expedition, the itinerary, the gear, and the excursion. all of those sections I put in its own separate guide because I wanted only the weeks in these two guides, and everything else went into their own guide. So I have 3 guides total. And then my daughter also has another book called the Student Resource Packet. So she carries with her, she takes with her to community. This year specifically, she will not have the Essentials Guide because I will not be in the class with her, but that is okay. Everything that's being done in the classroom, the tutor will do it on the board, so my daughter will be able to write it in her brain book or her binder. So she will carry with her the student manual of this, and she will have her notebook with which will also have her copies of all the charts laminated, as well as the student resource notebook. So that is what she will carry with her. The lessons, when you're looking at the Essentials Guide, the lessons are broken up into parts. I'm going to start with week 3, because week 3 is where you begin to do diagramming, included in the lesson plan. Week 1 and 2 introduce you to diagramming, but you don't actually do it until you get to week 3. So when you're looking at your Essentials Guide, you're going to see within each week sections. The first section will be at the very top of that first section, you're going to see a week at a glance. The week at a glance gives you the scope of what's going on during the week. This will include the structure that they're going to be working on, the purpose and pattern that they're going to be working on, the part of speech, as well as the grammar mastery charts that your child will be working on throughout the semester, throughout the year. And then the tasks within the analytical task sheets that will be focused on for the week. So that's the scope for the week. Then when you look down the page, you've got definitions. Noun and pronoun, this is week 3, so you've only got a few. Loading that grammar, focus of the week, which is a write-up for you as a parent teacher, and then getting dialectic for you to understand should you choose to create conversations with your essential student. Getting dialectic will continue for not only that page, but the second and third page following it, and even more. Then you've got what's to happen in the classroom. This is what you're going to look to when you are in class with your student and you're watching the tutor. You can literally follow that tutor by charting your notes as she's or he's going through the lessons. After that, you're going to have at home. And the at home portion will tell you exactly what you need to do when you get home with your students. Now, week 3 is very involved because it's introducing the analytical task sheeting and diagramming. So it's very, very deep. It also incorporates a sample of the analytical task sheet. You're encouraged to read all of the at home and even the in classroom and everything from the beginning of that particular week before you get to class. You're encouraged to read that. That way you're up to par. Even if you don't understand it, read it, get it under your belt, so that when you come into the classroom, you are up to par and can follow the teacher, the tutor. All right, here's what we do when I'm home. There are in-class explanation, at-home explanation in the Essentials Guide. When you get past all of those details for you, then your child, you have the lesson plans, the lesson tasks. Editing exercises is one. That's where you have you have a visual of an errored exercise, a paragraph that is written completely wrong. And then you have, that's on the left of the page, and then on the right of the page, you have the corrected version. This is the errored version, this is the corrected version. Do you see the line? You're going to fold that page, which will completely cover up the corrected version, and we'll reveal the rules of engagement, where we'll give that child clues, because the rules are on the back that will follow, that will have to, that she or he will want to know with regard to looking for the errors and correcting them. Now, in the back of the book, in the one of the appendixes, you will see the editing marks. You will want to share with your child how to do those editing marks, so that when that child is making those corrections to the incorrect version, they're using the appropriate editing marks. I will be honest with you. I will tell you, the first and second tour for me, I told my daughter we went over the rules so that she could be familiar. I read them, she read them, I read them, she read them, I read them, she read them 3 times. That's how I did it. And then I told her, make this incorrect, correct. Here's the corrected copy. Here's the incorrect copy. You know the rules of engagement, so you know what you're supposed to be looking for. So make sure they end up matching. Inevitably, she would overlook some of the corrections. But I wanted her to have success. I wanted her to get familiar with the process. So I did not cover this correct version. I let her look at the incorrect and look at the correct and see if she could make the incorrect look like the corrected one. I did that for tour 1 and 2. I may do it for this tour. You just don't know. Maybe, maybe not. So, after that editing exercise, there's going to be analytical task sheet sentences. You notice there are 5 sentences. One of those sentences will be done in your community day. So over the next 4 days after community day, you will be able to do those sentences, those 4 at home, 1 a day. I'll show you how I do it. After that, after you get past the sentences, guess what? You're done with essentials for the week. That is it. Editing exercise, the rules of engagement, and then the analytical task sheets for each of those sentences. Now, mind you, in the beginning, those tasks, there are 6 tasks. You're going to start with doing 3, and then as the weeks progress, you're going to add a 4th task, and then a 5th, and then the 6th task is quid et quo. So this may seem like a simple process, but in reality, it's going to get more and more complex with each new week. So don't be surprised if it takes your students a bit of time to get through these tasks initially. So, I'm sorry, there are 5 tasks. The analytical task sheet sample is indeed going to show up in week 3. And those tasks are what you're going to do in order to teach your child the ins and outs of sentence structure, purpose, and pattern. It's wonderful. I love analyzing sentences. I love diagramming. So now that leads me to IEW. IEW. Each week there is an essay. There is an essay required. You're not going to do all the essays in the book. You're only going to do 22 of them, because there will be 2 weeks of Faces of History. So don't think you're going to do all these essays. You're going to do most of them, but not necessarily all of them. There's a scope and sequence at the front of the book, which will give you an idea of the subject and structure your student will be working on, then the style that's going to be introduced for that week, vocabulary that's going to be introduced for that week, and any literature suggestions. I personally didn't do any of the extra literature suggestions because I wanted my child to focus on, I like the turnkey of this program. I don't want to add anything. I'm very okay with that. So at any rate, here's an example. Lesson 1. You're going to see note-making and outline process with Lesson 1. This is the teacher guide. So this snapshot right here is a snapshot of what the page looks like in your student guide. All this extra stuff your student will not see. So you're looking at the Middle Ages. They're going to do the keyword outline in the classroom, in the community day. Your students will do it with the tutor. Then at home, you will start the process of retelling the story, brainstorming, doing your first draft, second draft, final draft. The keyword out. So all of these things are explained here. And I'm not going to go into them too much because this video is going to be pretty much about how we do this at home. Just pretty much the layout. Now, remember I told you that I did a loop schedule and then I did a breakdown of the hourly or minute tasks. Well, I promised on that video that I was going to redo it in a organized platform, laminated, and this is exactly it. This is Schoolhouse Red's weekly loop schedule. Now, this is exactly the same information that is on that manual handwritten loop schedule that I mentioned in the previous video that I recorded some months ago in 2018. So if you want to see the specific details of this, check that video out. I will give you a glance at it close up so that you can see it. And I ask you to forgive me. I don't think it will end up being backwards, but just in case it does, then please forgive me. Okay, that is the loop schedule. Here's the fun part. I love this side because it tells me what I'm expected to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But, you know, in an ideal world, I would get all that done on those days. We don't live in an ideal world. So, of course, there are some weeks that I don't get it done. Here's how I answer that situation. On Sunday, I plan Monday. And then on Monday, I plan Tuesday. Because I can't, I plan the week generally. This is it. But when it comes to the real deal, I plan the day before. Based on what my daughter has gotten done that day. So, Sunday's the first day. Sunday will most likely always include everything on Sunday. I will put everything that's scheduled to happen on Tuesday because Monday is our community day, which I actually like because the beginning of the week is Sunday, Monday, great. So here's what I'll do. I will go from this side and I will look at what exactly she's got to do. I do have a breakdown of this information on the other side. It looks like a blank sheet, a blank form, but it is not. If you'll notice, the detail of what is done in each category is noted. I will then look at that without knowing the timeline, the time stamp for each. And this is actually, it says 6 here. It did say 5, and today I'm going to edit it and make it a 7. But teaching textbooks, specifically the lesson that she can do, the lesson number that she's to do, will be placed right here. If she's got any other assignments in math, I will put it right there. She will get this, and she will put a check mark in on this end when she does that. For Phonetic Zoo, based on when I do Phonetic Zoo. Okay, on Tuesday, we do devotions. She copies her charts for 20 minutes. She retells her first draft of the IEW lesson, history paragraph. She will also do math for 20 minutes. She will do Phonetic Zoo spelling for 20 minutes. She will do the editing exercise for 20 minutes. Foundations, new grammar for 30. And then if we have any electives like typing or like health, we are doing health and PE. And she's also doing money management. So those 2 electives, I'll do 30 minutes of each. And then if we end up going to the library, because I don't do electives every day, I will do 1 elective one day, the second elective the next, and then go back to the first, then the second, then the first again. Or 2 and 2, because I only have 4 days that I'm working with that are not community days. So, money management, health and PE. Money management, health and PE. That's Tuesday. I've done 1 elective and all those things I mentioned. Now, I want to help you. I want you to take a note, make a note of it. IEW, she does the retelling of the keyword outline in her own words on Tuesday. On Wednesday, she's going to do this retelling. She's actually going to verbally do it, and I'm going to record it on my phone. I will then, by the end of the day, transcribe it. I have a transcription app on my phone, and I will transcribe that information, and I will send it to my printer and print it off. That is her first draft. On Wednesday, that's Tuesday, on Wednesday, IEW, she will do her second draft. She will add her dress-ups for 30 minutes. I'm at second draft and dress-ups, 30 minutes of that. Now, staying with the IEW, there is something missing here because I do like to do... So, along with retelling the keyword outline in her own words, we will also do that brainstorming exercise, which is one of the first things after you do the keyword outline. So we'll do both of those on Tuesday. That first draft will be printed by me. Then she will do her second draft, which is going to be editing the first draft and writing it, writing her edits onto a typed copied paper. When I type them up, or when I have them transcribed, I do them, I double space, so that there's room for her to put her edits and do her second draft. On Thursday, she's doing her third draft. She's doing the bibliography, the MLA format review. And then on Friday, she's going to write completely in script the final draft. That's IEW. For EEL, Essentials, this. Now we're here. On Tuesday, she will chart copy, and I will go over the rules. That's going to be about 20 minutes. She will copy as many charts as she can in 20 minutes. We will sing them. She will write them. I don't let her use laminated. I don't laminate the charts anymore. I don't put them in sheet protectors. I make copies of them. She uses a pen to write them because the dry erase markers are not sharp enough to fit everything in there, and it irks me. She ends up it's just dirty. I don't like them. So we make copies of the charts, and she writes them with pen. That's what she'll do on Tuesday, 20 minutes. And then I'll also go over the rules. I say them, she says them. We do it 3 times. I say them, she repeats. I say them, she repeats. I say them, she repeats 3 times. Then on Wednesday, she'll do the same thing, chart copies, and we'll do the rules again. The same exact way we did it on Tuesday, we'll do it on Wednesday. Boom, that's 20 minutes total. On Thursday, she will do it again, chart copy and rules. And then on Friday, again, chart copy and rules. Now, that's not all she's doing in the EEL. Let's go back to Tuesday. The editing exercise is done on Tuesday, remember? The rules are also mentioned because they're part of it. On Wednesday, she will do analytical task sheeting. 2 sentences will be done on Wednesday because she didn't do any on Tuesday. So we have 4 sentences. We have 3 days. She'll do the 2 on Wednesday. She'll do a third one on Thursday. And then she'll do 1 more on Friday. And in the event that we do not do any on Monday in the classroom, then she'll do 2 on Wednesday, 2 on Thursday, and 1 on Friday, so as to get all 5 done. Now, this is still Essentials of the English Language. Let's see. That is it for Essentials of the English Language. We've done everything that we're supposed to do in this book. Analytical task sheet, editing exercise, rules. That's Essentials. I've mentioned everything we do for IEW too. That is retelling in the first draft and brainstorming on Tuesday. Second draft, adding dress-ups on Wednesday. Third draft, doing the MLA review on Thursday. And then the final draft of the essay on Friday. So those 2 things, that is how we do them. In the meantime, she also does foundations, new grammar. She does a workbook. It is very independent. It's very easy. We've been through, when you've been through these cycles at least twice, even if it's a new book, I make her work independent because she's 7th grade. She was 6th grade last year. She worked independent. She will do that again this year. Foundations, new grammar. Foundations, new grammar. Foundations, new grammar. Foundations, new grammar. She will do that every day because each week in her workbook is Sherry Ellis's work that I pull off of our CC Connected. Each week there are about 6 or 7 pages to be done, and we will do 1 or 2 pages a day. That's it. Let's see. Now, in math, she will do 20 minutes of her math lessons each day. 4 days of math each week. If I find that it is going too slow, I will double up and she'll do 2 lessons one day, 1 lesson another, 2 lessons the third day, and 1 lesson on Friday. And that is it. We do go to the library as one of our electives. If I only wait, I'll do it at 6 weeks intervals. We'll go to the library because she does have to drop everything and read, DEAR. So we get enough books that will carry us through at least 3 months of reading, and then we'll go back and get more. So that is my loop schedule, and everything that is on here I will transfer to here, because you know it's not an ideal world, and sometimes we don't get it all done. So I need to make sure that I'm giving her exactly what she needs to do on this day, and I just use a dry erase marker, or wet erase actually, and I fill in the blanks, and then I leave it on her desk when she wakes up, after breakfast and after her framework house blessing. She comes downstairs, and this is what she does. She gets this, and she is pretty much independent, although I'm right there in the room with her. We work together. I like for her to see me reading my Bible. I like for her to see me planning my work, because I do have to plan, even if I'm Essentials, a Foundations tutor. Now I'm a Challenge A director. My daughter sees me working when she's working. We do it together because I'm there if she ever needs any questions. And analytical task sheets, we do it on the board. We do it together because I absolutely love doing it. She will do it. I will do it. But I'm teaching her at that time. I am not just sitting around watching her and twiddling my thumbs. I'm actually teaching her. So that is it. This is my loop schedule updated, and this is how I plan the days of the week. And I do this every night. It's just that simple. And I start immediately after school ends. She goes, and she's allowed to look at a couple of hours of television a day. While she's in there, I am redoing this for the next day, so that when I close up my schoolroom at about 6 o'clock, it stays closed. That's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe and click the notifications, because that bell is the notification button. YouTube will let you know every time I upload a video if you do that. This is unedited because I just wanted to get it to you. So I appreciate your patience and, this view. Have a great school year. Be blessed. Look out for your Selah moments. A Selah meaning pause, ponder, and praise the Lord, because I know, and you know, He's been good to you. Until next time, shalom, shalom.